presentation of TFNN. The Morning Market Kickoff with your host, Tommy O'Brien. Now, Tommy O'Brien.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien, coming to you live from TFNN headquarters in St. Petersburg, Florida. 8:30 a.m. Thursday morning, 60 minutes to go until the opening bell, and we got markets limit down right now. Dow futures negative 1,231 points. That's about 5.2%, 22,344. S&P futures off about 5%. That's 139 points in the red, trading at 2601. NASDAQ off 402 points, 5% as well, 7601. Oil down $1.87 at 31.11. We have the 10-year yield at 0.69%. That's lower by about 13 basis points right now. Just ticked to 0.70% as we speak. Gold trading a bit lower as well. We'll start things off with the S&P. You see the slide begin last night at 9 p.m. Eastern time. President Trump coming on the air. There'll be a travel ban from Europe to the U.S. Why don't we just jump right into the headlines? Because there's the headline. 9 p.m. last night. 9:05 is the print on the article. Suspending travel from Europe 30 days as part of a response to foreign, quote-unquote, coronavirus. So that, I believe, beginning tomorrow on Friday. He will also ask Congress for legislative action to provide payroll tax relief as well as other measures. That news, though, is when the dive in the markets really began. To back up this chart, there is 9 o'clock on the dot on the S&Ps. You were trading at 2734 at that point. You're currently 134 points below that level, 2600 on the dot. You see the futures skipping along at basically the max limit low for the evening. So we'll see where these markets open 60 minutes from right now. The other headline coming right after that, let's see what the time print is on this, 9:36 p.m., that NBA had suspended the season indefinitely after a Utah Jazz player tested positive for coronavirus. Utah Jazz were playing a game, and just before game time, that game, they huddled the refs, they sent the teams back to the dressing rooms and canceled that game. And then news not long after that, the entire season suspended. And on top of that, Tom Hanks and his wife, Rita Wilson, also testing positive. Not a newsworthy, most of the time, story, but coming on the heels of just this coronavirus really digging in terms of travel from Europe. You then have the NBA season suspended. All the talk had been basically playing these games in empty stadiums and empty arenas, but nonetheless, the entire season, because a player already contracting the coronavirus, and the market just really begins to escalate. So with that in context, we back it up to 9 p.m. in the S&Ps. We had already traded marginally lower. I mean, there's your 4 p.m. close yesterday. We were ticking across right about where we were, 2734, and by about, it was quite an hourly bar, by 10 o'clock on the dot, 2612. You're talking about 4.5%. The market drops within the span of an hour on that 9 p.m. speech. You come out with a travel ban, but the market looking for more action in terms of what may be done fiscally with the government, with Congress, and details lacking in that speech last night. NASDAQ 100, you back it up to 9 p.m. last night, 79.93. You're now trading almost 400 points, we'll call it, because we were just at 8,000. We're at 7,600. Just a remarkable move, 5% across the board. 22,342 in the Dow. 9 p.m. last night, 23,539, about 1,200 plus points. Crude oil under $31. You see the slide in crude as well. Just at 9 p.m. Eastern time, 33.49. We're now under 31, $30.95. There's your gold contract. Even since 7:30 last hour, we've traded from 1642 down to 1609 in the price of gold, and the euro US dollar right now trading at 112.17. In terms of what else you have headlines out there, that's going to be the headline for the open. As we're speaking, we're getting a PPI, U.S. Producer Price Index, falling 0.6% in February. The number they were looking for was 0.1%. But stocks limit down. Dow set to fall 1,100 points. Some of the headlines as well having to do with the coronavirus overnight. Italy basically shutting down everything besides pharmacies and grocery stores. They're closing bars, restaurants, most shops. The coronavirus death toll jumps 30%, really dealing with some big numbers over there. So they will tighten its nationwide lockdown further in response to the rising death toll, ordering all non-essential shops and services to close. Announcing the measures Wednesday evening, their prime minister said the supermarkets and pharmacies will be the only retailers to remain open in Italy. Pretty drastic steps. We're at the beginning. Hopefully we don't have to go there, but it's possible when you have it happening in a place like Disney. Dollar General out with their earnings this morning. Discount retailer earnings $2.10 per share in the latest quarter, 9 cents above estimate. Revenue beating as well. Comp store sales 3.2% for Dollar General. They were looking for 2.8%. Jumping over to their shares this morning. Yes, closed at 158, actually looking to open at 154, but when you keep in mind that the market in general down about 5%, so Dollar General only down about $3 or 2% ahead of the market. Some of the other FANG stocks out there as we skip around and get ready for the break. Amazon looking to open at about $1,700. Closed yesterday at $1,820. There's going to be some mammoth moves on the open here. Microsoft $144.30. That's down almost $10 from its close yesterday. Apple shares closed at $275. You're trading $20 down at $255.80. Facebook shares $10 down, $159.80. Closed at about $174. Big moves for sure. Taking a look at oil. Oil contract, you back things up. There's the jump from Friday to Monday action when the price war begins between the Saudis and the Russians. $30.96 right now, the low $27.34. And as this volatility persists, taking a look at the VIX. The VIX got a spike to about 63.45. I mean, we were just basically at the spike high in the VIX. On this market, 63.45, new high on that VIX, up about 15% today so far. Other news stories out there, driving action. Party City, they're out with their earnings, PRTY, 51 cents a share in the fourth quarter, well below the 88 cents a share. Quite a miss. Revenue missing forecast with comp store sales falling 5.1. They were looking for a 4.9% decline. Company also said the CEO is stepping down, so kind of a mess all over the board there at Party City. Party City already trading at $1. Come on, cooperate. And it's going to open about 70 cents, so down about 30%, 35% as they continue to struggle. Same-store sales down 5.1%. You're losing your CEO. That may be going bankrupt. CME will close its Chicago trading floor at the close of business Friday, reducing large gatherings and help prevent the spread of coronavirus. You're going to see these types of places where just hundreds, if not thousands of people congregating. That is going to be where things really get clamped down. Boeing just continuing to get some rough news. So Washington state lawmakers passed a measure removing a significant tax break for Boeing and other aerospace companies. The move is an attempt to prevent European tariffs on U.S. goods. So the World Trade Organization, they've ruled in the past that Boeing and European rival Airbus received billions of dollars in unfair government subsidies. So Boeing losing that subsidy in Washington in an effort to avoid that type of decision. And Boeing shares, I mean, the slide is just, I mean, look at this. They're going to open $30 down, another 15% at 162. Tough days for Boeing. Stay tuned, folks. We'll be coming back from the break, going over what else we have on tap for today. Christine Lagarde, she'll be coming up in about 7 minutes. The ECB with a decision on rates and stimulus.
If you're in the CD market and looking for a secure investment, the Tiger First Mortgage Program may work for you. The security for these first mortgages are building lots in the Tax Opportunity Zone in St. Petersburg, Florida. The Tax Act of 2018 set up tax-free zones across the country where you can build and hold for 10 years and pay no tax on the profits, which makes these lots valuable. The investment is anywhere from $30,000 to $75,000. The interest paid is 7% yearly, paid on a monthly basis. According to Bankrate.com, the best rate for a 4-year CD in the country as of February 20th is 3.1%. A $50,000 investment at a normal 4-year CD rate of 3.1% would give you income of $1,550 per year or $6,200 over the 4-year period. That same $50,000 investment in the Tiger First Mortgage Program would give you $3,500 per year or $14,000 over the 4 years. Which would you prefer, $6,200 or $14,000 of interest on your investment? If you'd like more information about the Tiger First Mortgage Program, you can call me at 877-518-9190. That's 877-518-9190. The gold market has taken off topside in a large way in 2020. If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my gold report. The Gold Report took profits in 4 of its equities in the gold portfolio in the first week of January for a combined profit of 99.2%, with 2 positions left in the portfolio that have a profit of 67.5% as of January 7th. The Gold Report is a comprehensive look at the metals sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the Gold Report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, GDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the Gold Report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
Are China A shares hot or not? If you trade China A shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A Share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, folks. Market's right at that limit low right now. We'll jump over to the charts. It's pretty interesting taking a look what it looks like when you got futures at limit down. We're just ticking across 2,600 on the S&Ps as we await that open. I mentioned, so 8:45 a.m., we're going to get an ECB decision from Christine Lagarde, expected to cut rates over there, and I believe a press conference, 9:30 a.m. our time. Be interesting to see if they really try and surprise the market with more stimulus, more liquidity. We'll see what happens, but that coming up in a few minutes. We'll see if it hits the markets. Right now, though, markets limit down. Jumping over to other headlines out there, in terms of the actual headlines for the coronavirus, the numbers pretty stark. 127,000 cases, 4,717 deaths. U.S. cases, 1,323. U.S. deaths, 38. The graphical representation, that tail, we got to flatten out that tail. That is the goal, as China was able to. And quite a lockdown they had, not something that we may be capable of in terms of that type of quarantine. 60 million people just based on locking up cities and letting nobody go anywhere. Cases outside the mainland, that tail is still spiking up. That's what they want to get a hold of with some of these restrictions. So Spain's top soccer league suspended. You have all soccer matches in Spain's top division, La Liga maybe, have been suspended for 2 weeks to curb the spread. And I wonder, I hadn't heard, they didn't say definitely canceled on the NBA last night. They suspended until further notice. I wonder if they're just going to allow themselves no expectations, see how things go, and if things do turn around, maybe start things back up at some point. You have the World Health Organization. They're urging the world to double down against the virus pandemic. Today, urging countries to double down in the fight against the pandemic. Speaking to diplomats in Geneva, the head of the World Health, Tedros Adhanom, maybe? Cataract as describing as a pandemic does not mean the country should give up. The idea the country should shift from containment to mitigation is wrong and dangerous. So hopefully it's a mix of both, because hopefully they still have a chance to not, let that thing just be completely mitigated. Headlines back to business. Uber telling European and U.S. staff to work from home. Of course, that's the staff basically in the offices, I'm anticipating, because their staff, in terms of their contract workers out in the field, Uber shares hit pretty hard, jumping over to some of these, Uber and Lyft, pretty hard, and even just going to be a 15% drop off that close. yesterday, right? Yeah, 26, $2.60 would be 10%. So quite a drop we're going to see on this as that type of travel really hitting Uber. You put this on even a 1 year daily because you really see. And as I'm saying that, I'm seeing, so Carnival's Princess Cruises to pause global ship operations for 60 days over coronavirus. That story just hitting. Carnival, let's pull this story up here. Why not, since that one's just breaking. And not surprising. I don't know who is going on a cruise right now. People, protect yourself. You know, even if you're not getting sick yourself, all that has to happen is one person ends up on their cruise, and you're quarantined on that cruise for weeks, if not longer, and cruises are not where you want to be. So Carnival pausing their global ship operations for 60 days. That company trying to do a hard reboot. Let's jump over to Carnival, and then we'll jump back to Uber. You see the drop from 21 to 18.35. I mean, this drop, just mammoth, from January 17th at $52, and we're going to open at $18 on this stock as they try and pull it together. Uber shares, jumping back to them. So quite the drop for Uber as well. 26, we're going to open at $22. That's going to be almost 50% of where we were trading at February 12th. Remarkable that, so cluing back into, and this is where some long-term buys for some of these companies really, you know, if you have a retirement account, a 401k, you know, 5, 10, 15 years, Uber shares now more speculative than a company like Apple or Amazon or Microsoft. But they just announced, even in February, that they were going to be cash flow positive by the end of this current year. Now, I imagine things are going to change with how the coronavirus is playing into travel, but they were dramatically ahead of the game by a year. You have a company that's mammoth in size, ride-sharing, changing the world, and you're back down to way below now, this $25.58 low. You spiked to $42 almost when the market found out that they were going to be cash flow positive by the end of this year, and this is going to open at almost near $20. I imagine Uber is going to be a company that is going to be around in the next 5 or 10 years. Uber Eats in that capacity. Tesla, quite the volatile ride for Tesla. Tesla's going to open at about $566. So putting that on the chart, you're going to open right at about $565. That's the active bid offer, $566 right here. You can see that's pulling us back all the way to this area that we were trading at in about January. You wipe out that entire run to almost 1,000. You're going to open $566. Tesla, quite the ride on that one as well. Amazon shares, I mean, these pullbacks, let's put it even on a 3-year weekly. Amazon's all the way back. When you're going to open at 1710, you're talking about you're back now from June of 18, almost 2 full years on Amazon. Microsoft shares opening at 144. I mean, it's interesting because all these other companies compared to Amazon, you see Amazon just went back to June of 18. That would bring Microsoft all the way back to 128. But Microsoft and Apple really leapfrogged Amazon last year. And Amazon has a little catch up, so they're back to further territory. But even Microsoft, you're now going to be back to all the way in November. Yeah, 144 we're opening at. So you're getting back to almost October. You're almost going to wipe out that entire fourth quarter, plus the beginning of this year. I mean, just this year alone, you had Microsoft shares, huge run from almost 160 up to 190, let alone the run you had the previous quarter from 140 to 160. You go from, and now you're going to be back from 190 to 140. That's going to be potentially almost a $50 haircut on that stock on Microsoft. Facebook shares looking to open at about 160. So you're going to be right on this line right here. You're trading at 160. You closed at 170.24 yesterday, and this putting this. Do I have anything longer? For some reason I feel like that's not going back, but either way, Facebook shares 160.77. Some of the cannabis stocks out here. Okay, and as we say this, the ECB decision holding rates, but announces stimulus package to combat coronavirus. That may not be good for the market, folks. They were looking for a rate cut. Holds rates. Let's see what happens here. So ECB holds rates but announces stimulus package. Well, it better be one heck of a stimulus package if they're not willing to cut right now. Holds rates. Let's see. So Lagarde said earlier this month that bank was ready to take appropriate and targeted measure to deal with the impact the coronavirus has spread worldwide. Okay, so this is just... That's just kind of some filler with the headline. nonetheless, let's see what's happening in maybe some of these currency markets, because the question really, and there's your Euro US dollar, so Euro spiking a bit higher, 112.70 on that news, actually, from 112, almost up 0.6 of a penny. And we'll see when that news breaks out. I wonder how gold, maybe, no real reaction in gold. Our market's still ticking across at futures limit down. So not what the market would have wanted in terms of, I'm not sure what the details will be with the stimulus. We'll find out soon, but not what the market wanted. JP Morgan abandons the Boeing buy call after 3 years. So we talked about Boeing a little bit before last break. JP Morgan analysts giving up on their long-term overweight call on Boeing, cutting their share target for the company by $160 to just $210 on a note on Thursday. Be careful with Boeing, folks. I've been saying that that's going to be around, and things are changing right now with this a bit. They may be in some trouble with some debt, the 737 MAX, and people just not flying. Stay tuned, folks. We'll come back to finish up the program. We'll be right back in 3 minutes.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools, as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
If you haven't checked out the newsletters page of TFNN.com, what are you waiting for? All of the TFNN newsletters are informative, up-to-date, affordable, and a must-have for every trader looking to gain a competitive informational edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets to offer you the very latest in market news. Plus, new subscribers get to test drive our newsletters risk-free for 30 days. From all aspects of the markets, including stocks, bonds, metals, commodities, and tech, there's a newsletter to fit your needs exclusively from TFNN. Stay informed each day you trade and get that competitive edge that will help you stay ahead of the game. Visit our newsletters page by going to TFNN.com and click the newsletters button near the top of the page. TFNN.com, educating investors.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, oil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They've been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, folks. We got futures, limit down, 35 minutes to go until that opening bell. Stay tuned. We got Larry Pesavento coming up next. Should be an interesting market on the opening bell. These markets, I mean, not that we're taking them for granted right now, but this is just staggering the types of moves we're getting. You're getting limit down on the futures on the open. You don't know even where they're going to open. It's only a few times that you can really get into this. I'm really learning a lot, even myself, just seeing the action and how quickly things can move, and to not underestimate how quickly things can move. When you think that it may calm down, there's a long way to go in this, and you better be prepared for that. And it's going to be a month. It's going to be maybe 2. There's going to be a lot of uncertainty, and then things will get back to normal. But, you know, things are going to be shut down, and life is going to be different. And I think the market is just realizing for the first time in a while, life is going to be starkly different as we do that. And you're seeing it with the NBA. You're seeing it with travel cancellations and whatnot. So S&P down at about 2,600 right now. Other numbers out there in terms of data, try to get everything going on. Weekly jobless claims, not really affected yet. This number out at 8:30, 211,000, dropping by 4,000. So a number of Americans filing new claims for unemployment insurance fell last week for the second straight week. So no real effect yet. It will be March and April and possibly May, and hopefully that's it. But, you know, as things come back to normal. But it's going to be this month towards next month. I mean, if you remember, just for some context, as we back things up, putting things on an S&P chart, I think I only have to put it on a 20-day hourly, yes, to get us back to the all-time high in the S&P of 33.97. I put this on a 20-day hourly chart, and I get it back there, and I don't even need to go back that many days. We're talking about February 19th at 6 p.m., 33.97, and you're going to open at 2,600 or below, because that's the limit down. So you're talking about 800 S&P points below that 3,400 number. Pretty stark number indeed. Stay tuned, folks. We got Larry Pesavento coming up live with Trade What You See. I'll be back at 10 o'clock with Tom. Fast Market by TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim at 11. Basil Chapman, Steve Rhodes, Dave White, Tom O'Brien all this afternoon. Should be an interesting day in the market. Stay tuned, folks. We'll be right back.